This is a video about why I think Darwinism is flawed. First of all, there's already people like Stephen Meyer that are going to argue that random iterations to DNA is unlikely to produce a positive result. We already know that more steps equals more problems in everyday life. Imagine if all those steps were random. So each random effect on the gene, right, is likely to produce a negative result, and then the next random iteration is going to make it even more negative and more negative and more negative. And this is a common mistake in Darwinism. They don't understand that more steps equals more problems. But the problem is much worse than Steve Meyer thinks, because there's a navigation problem and an instruction problem for all processes in the cell, because all we have at our disposal is the electric law, which is opposite charges always attract and like charges always repel. And so imagine the transcription process, the folding of a protein, and imagine combining all those folded proteins into a larger structure, a larger quaternary structure, like the rotary motor engine for the flagellum of a paramecium, that looks like an engineering marvel. It's not something that I can even come up with, right? So, and there's no natural selection in the cell, in the time scale of the cell. These quaternary structures are built in like minutes. So, and there's like thousands of proteins being transcribed every minute, and it's all working seamlessly. Now imagine a Lego Millennium Falcon. Imagine all the pieces are magnetized so that they all snap together or they repel apart, just like the electric law. Now imagine throwing them into a bowl of water and shaking it up. You wouldn't expect it to self-assemble into a Millennium Falcon, right? You'd know that there's an instruction problem and a navigation problem. Your fingers putting things together in the right places, and the instructions that you're reading off of. That's what's missing. That's how bad the problem is. There's a mergeability problem on top of an evolvability problem, and it dwarfs the evolvability problem. Like people like Stephen Meyer talk about irreducible complexity. Who cares about that? Like, how can it even emerge in the cell? And then you talk to people like, you post this like on Stephen Meyer's videos, he'll just delete it. And that's why nothing ever happens.